Hello, everyone, and welcome to SAHAJ Times Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm really happy to be back. We took a break for a couple of months, enjoyed the summer, spent time in Cabella, and spent time with our families and as well with our SAHAJ family. Why am I speaking in plural? Well, because with me there is always my co-host, my Ron Weasley, my Samwise Genji, my Master Yoda Fabrizio Trezza. How are you, Fabri?
Ron Weasley really sucks. Like that. That
Yeah,
really.
and yeah. Depends on your taste. You is
He has no impact in the movie.
I could maybe I had to choose something better, someone
I'm
better.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Zorro,
Lord
Zorro,
Voldemort.
Zorro, Zorro would have been fine.
We are going on another topic. I mean, we
All
could
right.
make a podcast on that. We could make a podcast on football, but sadly, we're doing another type of podcast.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be back. Super exciting, actually. I missed it. I didn't know we were in season 3. Very, very nice to hear that we
Yeah,
made
I
it so
just made
far.
that up. I was like, let's restart from the season 3.
Let's make it sound exciting.
Of
So,
course.
but actually, the truth is today we don't need to make any artificial excitement because the podcast is really exciting. There's something very cool that we're going to talk about, right?
Yes.
So, a little intro. I would like to put it out there. There are certain topics in Sahaj that are very talked about and they're very important, right? Easy. You can think about marriages, Yuva Shakti, the Sahaj schools, the properties of Shimaraji. Like we actually did many podcasts on these topics, right? And everybody knows how important they are, and there's a lot of attention on it. What we're going to talk about tonight is, I don't know how you feel about that, but maybe the most important among these topics, but it's not so evident how important it is. It's something that is kind of in the background. But if you stop to think about it, is maybe one of the most important topic you can think about in Sahaj and for the future of humanity, like literally.
Mhm.
And we're gonna keep the topic secret till we introduce our guests. Who do we have today? We have Uncle Alan from UK, super fun uncle. Got his realization in 1989. He has a very cool story that maybe we'll explore together during the show. And he's the secretary of NIPC. He's lived in UK most of his life. And then we have Uncle Eric, equally fun and naughty uncle. Born in Switzerland, true Swiss, one of the Swiss yogis that is actually full Swiss. Got his realization in 1986 in Lausanne. And he looks mostly at the operational part branch, which is Nemal Vidya. We will, during the episode, we will see what these two different parts are. So, welcome.
Welcome, uncles. How you
Yes.
doing?
Hi,
Hello, fine, great.
good to see
Happy
you.
to be here.
Cool. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us.
And happy to join everyone.
I hope you don't mind I introduce you as the naughty uncles. Is that accurate or?
No, we are very serious. Alan and I are the most serious guy in the world. So we are a little bit disappointed with this welcome, but we will cope, we'll manage. Don't worry.
The problem is, Eric, we have to prove it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have to show.
The bar is high. All right, Lele, off we go. I'll let you go in with the first question.
Yes. So I actually would like to ask you something more about the NIPC because people strangely might not know what are we talking about. And so we really want to dive deeper a little bit more about how it was created, what is the trigger event that made it happen, why was it necessary, and if there is any particular story related with Shimataji about this NIPC creation.
Well, I mean, there's so much to ask there, Lily. I don't think we don't have time to answer all those questions. But basically, NIPC, what is NIPC? NIPC is, it stands for Nirmal Intellectual Property Corporation. It's a corporation that was set up in Delaware, America, on the 21st of July, 2005. It's a not-for-profit organization, but that organization was established under the direct guidance of Shri Mataji. I mean, this blows my mind, because basically Shri Mataji was engaging with the team out in America, with people like Paul Ellis and the legal team out there, to set up this company. And the reason for the company's being is that it was there to preserve, to protect, and disseminate, spread her sacred knowledge, which comprises, of her lectures, her writings, her books, etc. So that's basically what NIPC is. She was the president of NIPC. She is the president, although she's no longer in a physical body. We've always vowed that she will never be replaced, although it was required by company law, but she will always be our president. She will always guide us. And it is the most precious company in the history of the world. It is beyond value. It is extraordinary, it is unique, and it's been an absolute privilege and honor to be part of it. And I suppose all yogis are really part of this corporation, because we are all supposed to protect her knowledge, her sacred knowledge, and she's given us this legacy, and we're all part of it, and she's our president. So it's not a few of us who are directing it or getting involved with it. It's every SAHAJ yogi's duty to protect this, if inappropriate behavior, inappropriate use of this knowledge, it's our duty to protect it. I also just, we talked earlier about what has she given us, to understand the gravity, we really need to step back, we were saying earlier that, we've only heard the words and books of great incarnations, the Holy Scriptures or religious books or holy texts, but we've never heard Shri Mataji's, we've never heard a great incarnation's voice. And the divine voice of our mother is recorded on tape, not only for yogis, but the whole of mankind. The sound of her voice is just so majestic. Every word is a mantra. You can see the movement of her eyes, the absolute magnificence of her being. And it's just so hard to comprehend what she has actually given us. We see videos on YouTube, we see films on TV and cinemas, but nothing has this profound qualities that she has given us. I mean, her photograph, she said it has the 5 elements, air, water, earth, etc. And she says all of that was a reproduction. It still represents me because my attention is there. And that's her photograph.
Wow.
Imagine what she's given us with her videos for the rest of mankind. It's just a glorious reminder of her being,
It's beyond words what we can say with that, but maybe to complete also in a practical way also, she asked us to collect also all her talk, because at the time of creation, it was kind of disseminated also. It was not all in one place.
Yeah.
So that there's a task which is still going on. It is to collect all the talk to be sure that we have everything. And she gave also the mission to NIPC to protect trademarks. To protect the name of Sahaja Yoga, of Vishwa Nirmala Dharma, of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, to protect her name so that it's not misused by people, because we know how the world is. It's a complicated world, and this is also a part of the mission that she has given to NIPC to protect her name also worldwide.
Absolutely. And there is to this actually something that fascinates me a lot, because I talk also sometimes with Uncle Christian. He was Zbilut that was telling me these stories, that it's not so intuitional for somebody, for example, my age, to understand this, that at the beginning of Sahaj, Shimaji will just go to a country and go have tea at somebody's house and then start giving a lecture. and then bless that person who takes a tape recorder and start recording that, right? That moment of history.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's not so which is amazing, which NIPC is doing, that I have understood, is that sometimes you go to places and you find these people that have this treasure on like a flip tape or an old tape, and you transform everything into now digitalized, and you safeguard that, and then literally if you didn't do that, it was gone. Like
Yeah.
humanity wouldn't have it. It's,
Yeah.
it's mind blown to think that, you know, it's
Exactly. This is the work of Davy Productions. I mean, you know, we have to give actually just to go back a story on Davy Productions, because that was precisely the work they had to do. It was I think Shri Mataji came to Chiswick in England in 2006, and Philippe Zeiss gave a presentation, you know, on how we should preserve Shri Mataji's talks, you know, how we should collect it in one place, how we should look after this, you know, the preservation of these tapes. You know, it was an enormous task. Wow. And he gave a presentation, and Mother, you know, at Chiswick House, she and Sir CP were there, and the presentation was made. I think Wolfgang was also there, and Mother gave some funding towards setting up of Davy Productions, and you know, the tapes were all over the place. You know, some in England. I think there was a lot in Italy, and then that Ossie and his wife Susie, you know, set up Davy Productions in 2006. Sorry, 2007, I think, and all these tapes were transferred, and they were, you know, they had to clean all these spoiled and severely damaged tapes, you know, with mold on it, etc. Yeah. And they did an amazing job.
I mean, it was his job. It was his job. He had a company before, and he stopped his company to work exclusively for that. Wow. To dedicate completely with his wife to this work. Yeah. And luckily for us, and you see the beauty of Shri Mataji organized everything, that he had a special machine, a rare machine, which were used to clean the videotapes properly, because when we got them, it was sometimes full of mold and things and spoiled, and you break it, you lose it, you know, it's gone. So we had to have it's a delicacy things, you know, you had to work really delicately to clean these tapes and before digitizing them. And he decided to quit his company and create Davy Production and work only for that. And with his wife, and they dedicate for years their life to that work daily, you know. So it's also amazing dedication from him. I mean, he passed away now, unfortunately, but he did such a work to start that. That was
humanity will thank this family for
definitely,
absolutely. And also, you know, the cleaning of these spoiled tapes and digitizing and optimizing it for sound and color quality, all that is carried on, you know, now by a very lovely young team, you know, like Ben and Anton and Madhu and all that. It's incredible, because they're dedicating their lives, you know, to this, you know, really extraordinary work, you know. So, you know, and they, for generations to come. So,
yeah, it's actually crazy to think about this, because now it's really easy just to watch like a Mother's Tape on YouTube. You just click there and you just go there, and I think we almost take it for granted.
Yeah,
totally.
But there are like so many stories like this behind all of these videos that we can now watch for free online. And well, actually, from this topic we can go also from the other topic, because we used to pay for the tapes. I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to buy them, the DVD, the tapes, but now they are completely free. How come?
It's a delicate subject, but it's true. Actually, Shri Mataji always said that you get the realization for free, but all the rest you need money to make it run. You know, you need money to produce videos. You cannot just get a whole for free. You cannot get anything for free in this world. So and at that time, of course, the beginning of all the starting, because before NIPC, before Nemalavidya, there was a team who was making copies of videos, tapes, and distributing worldwide. And Mataji always said you have to pay for it because you have to also kind of value it. And this money anyway, is not that you pay for meditating, but you pay so that this money can be used for SAHAJ project and develop SAHAJA yoga or buy things for countries for puja, silver, gold, and all these things. So at that time it was like that. And when we started after the creation of NIPC, we started the creation of Nirmala Vidya, but maybe we come back on that later to operate that.
Yeah.
That was a discussion because at that time then suddenly came internet, you know, was becoming more and more worldwide spread at that time, and more easy to share videos and online and all these things. So we wanted to make a website to disseminate the talks, but the question was still there. Do we pay? Do we ask to pay to register in the website or not? Because at the beginning, it was clear that this website would not be for the public, but mostly for the yogis. And there was discussion when we were preparing the topic, and I felt during we were preparing that with Christian's Bilut, and NIPC had asked us to prepare the project. And when we were speaking with Christian, we had the feeling that if we start to make subscription, people will not subscribe because we could find already online video for free at that time. And we knew that if we start to pay for the video, the people will go online. Anyway, they will go online.
They won't participate,
and they won't pay to subscribe for that. And we said, let's bet on the maturity of the collectivity so that they will realize the importance of the work that has been done to provide all these tapes, all these videos online, to digitize, clean, digitize, and so on, and make it available for everyone so that they will understand the importance of it and simply do a donation. And we had a discussion during an NIPC meeting, and I know we had inside NIPC people who said, no, we should pay, but we were exchanging like that. And at one point, one of the members said, but so you're asking us a little bit like at the moment of when Draupadi is attacked by the people, and she's holding a sari with the teeth, you know, and she just surrender at one point completely to Krishna, saying Kri, and by saying Kri, the sari goes, but Krishna is straight away there and destroy the people and protect her. And they felt like that at one point we have just to let it go, let it be, let it open to the whole collective like that, and let it free. And at that moment, suddenly the vibration started to flow. So it became evident that we had to make it free for everyone, and that the system will work based on donation. Mainly to make it work, because behind there are people like Devi Production, they are working full time, they dedicate their day for that, so they quit their job. These young people are working now, they quit the job to work for that, so they need a salary. We need the material, we need to run website, we need to protect the name, we have so many things to pay. Not a huge budget, but still we need money, so that's why the donation is there.
But just on the salaries and all for these boys, you know, who work there, I mean, they could get so much more money just working outside of SAHAJ yoga. So the dedication is just incredible.
Yeah.
But just coming back to how did we move away from, or how did we give tapes free? I remember the original drafting of resolutions for NIPC. You know, people like Karan and Gagan. But helping to draft resolutions with Arno, myself, etc. You know, one of the things they came up with is that yogis should have free and unrestricted access to the knowledge of Shri Mataji. And that was a sort of guiding principle. But the trouble is, we didn't know how to do that, because, straight from having NIPC, having this knowledge, we ended up going to the commercial unit where they had to make tapes, and that was a costly exercise because you had to employ people, you had to, and so there was these big discussions on, this could cost thousands and thousands of pounds. So as Eric said, we trust Mother, and we just the maturity of the collective. We went from going, why don't we try a Netflix model of subscriptions? We knew it wouldn't work, and then as Eric said, the maturity of the collective and just looking for donations, but we're always looking for donations. So there's a little plug here for it, because things are changing so dramatically, with legal stuff, AI, etc. So I hope the collective see the need and continue to donate.
I think this is a great point you all made. And sometimes I look to the young people of today, and I must say I feel a little bit bad because they have it easier. But when it's easier, it's also trickier, right? Like I remember when I came to SAHAJ, Shimaji was very clear. You had to pay for this. Support the collective. Don't be a parasite. Like you had this sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
And now really, it's the young people. They really need to grow that from inside because it's not coming from outside. And so I really think we need to develop the SAHAJ culture where you are really understanding the value of what you get, and you should be generous because you understand.
I mean, that's one of the basic principles of SAHAJ. It's about giving, not about taking. I would say it's about taking vibrations, but for all the material things, it's about giving.
But as Lely said earlier, we all take it for granted, So, but they do not know what goes on behind the scenes, the amount of work that goes on every single aspect, and there's only a small team of people who do this work, and also, just in sort of defense of some of the young, they don't necessarily know what or who NIPC is.
Absolutely.
And I think, I was approached at Ganesha Puja when someone said, "What is NIPC?" And I'd like to donate, and it was a young
absolutely.
So it's probably our responsibility to tell them this is the only company in the world that matters, and it's your company, it's humanity's company, and you have to please support it. It's extraordinary, this company of mothers,
No, and I see my children even like sometimes we meditate and they go normal video and they're like, "Oh, I want to know about forgiveness," and they just type that, and it pops up all the related talks. For them, it's completely normal, like. If it was a swayambu that grew by itself, right? And it's just there, and sometimes I try to explain to them, like, before like certain tapes were not available in a country. You had to go to India to get that specific tape. So
boomer, they would say.
Exactly. No, so I think this is why this episode actually is really needed, is to give a bit of that knowledge, of that understanding of how we're evolving, but also how we need to keep to that roots understanding of of the importance of this.
But on this, out of this freedom, there might be also a side effect, which is using this content for your own purpose, not your own purpose, but at your own I don't know, like
monetizing.
Like publishing, publishing video on YouTube, on your own, and all this,
I mean, it's really easy to download it and then repost it, and then we know how YouTube works. Like after a while, it can also pay you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that?
Well, basically, this is where we ask the yogis to help us, because they will spot these things, of monetizing and inappropriate use of Shri Mataji's talks, on YouTube or Instagram or wherever, and you can't use mothers' talks, to the sacred knowledge to make money out of, So we're asking the country coordinators and yogis to report back, to Nirmal Vidya, and help us with that. But even worse, what is happening on the internet is that we're seeing deep fake videos of Shri Mataji, where you've got mother's picture, and they're speaking over mother, where she may be speaking in English, and they're using AI to speak in Hindi or whatever, So we've got a great team of lawyers, run by Machindranath and Paul Ellis, who are sort of looking at this sort of thing. And also people like Dahir and Wadi, who work on the Nirmal Vidya apps, and Radek, do a fantastic job on Amruta, They sort of report back, and we try to take these sites down either through our lawyers in New York, So yes, so
we are trying to educate also the collective little by little, but we know it takes time to understand, because we are not yet all aligned on how to use the talks of Shri Mataji. Like many people still publish puja talks online, for example. And we know this is not the things to be done, because instead of attracting seekers, it's repulsive for stricters. When they will see Shri Mataji with the crown, the swastika, and the big decorum, and like that, they will feel this is weird. We don't realize that if you put a video from India somewhere, somebody in USA will see the video online. It's all different cultures, and it's not all fit for all the cultures. Shri Mataji has done so many public programs. It's more than sufficient for the new people, for the seekers, to discover Sahaja Yoga. Shri Mataji always appeared in public programs very simply, always with a white sari, few flowers, simple chair, even sometimes standing to do the program. She was always presenting herself in the most simple way, not to impose herself a divinity to the seekers. So, because the most evident thing is the experience. So we set some guidelines. It has been published in Amruta to say, look, if you want to use puja talks for new people coming into your collective or new seekers, and you have a special channel in YouTube for that, because you have a special set of course, for example, presenting extract of Shri Mataji's talk from pujas. You can do it, but don't make it public. Keep it private. Mm-hmm. And then you share the link. It's fine if you want to reuse, but keep it private. Don't make it public. Whether it is a photo that you publish on Instagram, or it is a video on YouTube, or whatever, just keep these things for new people private. You just send the link to them, and that's it. That works fine. And for the public, then you can share public programs. And we have also this new website, learnsahajayoga.org, it contains all the public programs of Shri Mataji, and you can use that or this content for that.
And I think this is super important. I mean, again, as you said, Uncle, we should stress out that, for example, certain things that in India, maybe is the most exemplary country, is very accepted to do a puja. It's super common knowledge. But there is various degree of non-tolerance in different countries, and you could really be putting your brothers and sisters in another country, without making names, in jeopardy, like physically dangerous.
It has created such problem. It has created such problem in different countries. So, so many have experienced that. For example, you give realization to somebody in your job. You speak about self-realization in your job. You share it with a colleague, and the day after, the colleague doesn't want to speak to you because he went simply on internet. So went on YouTube, looked for Shri Mataji, and found Shri Mataji with the photo with the swastika, the crown, and everything, and the feet which are being decorated or things like that. And sometimes not even Shri Mataji, but the photo of somebody photographing his own altar, with the photo of Shri Mataji, these kind of things. So of course, and people, they want to do well, but they don't realize
Yeah.
that it has a negative impact
Impact.
on the seekers who wants to come. So of course, our dream, Malavidya and NIPC, is that at one point we have all the same understanding all over the world about how to use this auspicious and divine material that Shri Mataji, and divine work that Shri Mataji has given us through all the tapes and the books, and that we can use in an appropriate and auspicious way to attract seekers in the proper way, to help the newcomers, the new yogi, to understand who she is, but that different step, and it's a prayer we make every day that it's happening, but we seems to take time to have a mature in that. It will still take time.
It's understanding and discretion. I mean, it's. I suppose not everyone understands cultures. Different cultures and what is acceptable and what is not. But we're also finding, even mother's photograph, the way people use Shri Mataji's photograph, is apparently trying to enhance it, by putting lipstick and makeup. This is
ridiculous.
Not auspicious,
not auspicious. It's not appropriate. But also, this is what we're also trying to develop, and this wonderful team of AI people. How are we going to develop software that actually tracks down some of these issues? For instance, luckily, a yogi spotted mother's photograph being sold on Etsy, and the photographer had the guy who was selling it enhanced the photograph by putting lipstick, eyeliner, etc. And he was selling it. And when he was told he shouldn't do that, he said, well, I'm going to do that. I do that for gurus, and I'm going to do more of it. And I'll give you a 20% discount, on your next purchase. So it was so offensive, But
it's crazy.
Yeah, one thing we realize, I think, more and more, because it's also a part of the message, and it is very important, is with the advent of AI, the world is going to be complicated to discriminate between what is true and what is not true. We know it every day already from fake news, fake videos of people speaking, and it's not from them. And now the technology is becoming so powerful, so powerful that they can make the voice of somebody, they can copy the voice of somebody you cannot recognize that it is just a machine speaking. And so you can make tapes or make Shri Mataji say anything, and you will not know that it is not Shri Mataji unless you're really sensitive maybe with the vibrations. But sometimes we are not so clearly feeling, So the only source, and this has to be clear, the only source of reference that exists in the world, it's Nirmala Vidya Amruta. That's it. There is no other source anywhere in the in internet where you can be sure that it has not been transformed or not. And as it is going to be more and more coming, this AI, you will be more and more suspicious. So
absolutely,
this is a really important point, Rick. The collective need to know that. They need to register on the Nirmal Vidya app. They need to register on Amruta, because this is so important. But at this very moment in time, we have some world-class yogi, on deepfake software. He's developing software, and he's going to use the Amruta database. So, if you leave out words, where Shri Mataji says you must, or you add a word and, it's you must not, this software apparently will detect, but it's going to take some time to develop the software and to scrape the net, So, and also the team at Davy Productions are looking at digital watermarking. They're already doing the watermarking. I think for future use, I know the horse is already bolted, but, we have to look at all these new up and coming software. And luckily we have such teas and Sahaj yoga, with
But it can become huge and difficult to handle, as it
Yeah.
is today difficult to handle because there are thousands of YouTube channel with Shri Mataji's videos
Yeah.
now, and you cannot. It's not the idea to fight against the people; it's just to educate and say use it properly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why also, and the sequence came so perfectly with the advent of AI. That's why also came that we felt a few years ago it's the time to print all the book because at the end when it's on paper you cannot alter it.
It's
It's
there.
written, it's
Yeah.
on the paper. So that's why we started this other project with Nirmala Vidya collection with Heno, Trupta, Adi, and the World Foundation to and the support of Casa Madre and the World Foundation to print the book for all the transcript that has been done. And it just, if you see, it just came this year, and it is now that this AI is coming in
yeah,
force, on the web. So the timing is so perfectly aligned, somehow
It's
that we
amazing.
have shown now we have a base which is not, of course, complete, absolutely complete, because we still have to collect few talks that are still missing,
Yeah.
and we have to do little verification sometimes, but the base is there, it's printed, it's preserved, so
And sometimes I feel if everybody could do a little bit makes a big change. And I just give
yeah.
me my personal experience is quite funny. I got scolded maybe last year by my wife, rightly so, because to go to Amruta you had to log in,
Yeah,
and I don't know why I couldn't save the password, so I had to remember every time, and it was really annoying me. So it was so much easier to go to YouTube,
yeah,
and that's what I was doing, and I'm sure that that's what the average yogi that doesn't use Amruta does. They
yeah,
just don't want to log in, right?
yeah.
But then we did have the discussion. She's like, look, you have to use this because this is exactly for all the reason that we're talking about. This is the official, is going to support the project, but also that you're using something that is authoritative and non-altered. And literally the obstacle was I didn't want to remember the part. It's such a small thing, right?
yeah.
But that's where we fall. That's where we mostly fall, is the small things. It's not the big ones. It's the small little efforts that you
But
need
it's
to make.
so easy to switch on the TV and there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I sometimes do it as well. So uh, tell you
What, Alan? What?
not to stop me.
To speak after this talk. We have to speak together.
But I tell you, it's extraordinary, and I also, just feel there's so many people to thank, who, whilst Eric and I are talking about NIPC and then Malvidya, the sort of the people, the yogis there, like Ardno and Gregoire, sort of backbones of NIPC, and people like Alan Wary and Gagan and Karan and Philip Zeiss, so many of
But
them.
also, I will say all the people who started much more before NIPC and all that, to start, for example, transcription of talk. You
Yeah.
have people all over the world who started to transcribe talk since many, many years.
Yeah.
And we have today a lot of job that has been done because of all these yogis who dedicate their time to listen to talk, do the transcription, verify it. And this is happening since so many years in everywhere, in many countries. And people dedicate their time for that. It's not since an IPC or Nirmala Vidya collection. It started much,
No, it
much
goes back.
before.
It just goes back, all those people, the yogis filmed, took the time and trouble
Exactly.
to film Mother, otherwise, we wouldn't be here,
Yeah.
So,
Or we won't be able to do anything, without them.
Extraordinary, but yeah, how she has planned it all. Yeah, it's extraordinary. Any more questions?
Yes, Juan. I was thinking also, because we discussed this in the past, there's also a subtle aspect to it, like to all of this work, not just the actual. But for example, I just this came to my mind as we were talking, that I think I've heard this either some yogis telling me, or maybe I heard a speech, I'm not sure, but where Shimaji was saying, my photo is full of vibrations, but you need to respect it. Like if you disrespect the photo, if you don't clean it, if you don't, so this whole work of preservation is not just to preserve the colors and the words, is to preserve like there's a vibrational component to it. Like all this attention being put by the yogis on this project is actually extremely auspicious, right? So there's a completely subtle aspect. So that's point one. And point two is something that you, Uncle Larry, said the other day, and I think it would be nice to expand a bit on it, which is another trap with digital is, again, how easy it is to click and get the YouTube open and then you have Shimaji on a screen, versus understanding that God literally is in front of you, versus or just a video I'm watching, or you're so that's something to watch out for. No.
Yeah, that's I remember we were speaking about that. I mean, for example, when we go to Kabela, for example, or to Pratishthan in India, or to Nirmal Dam, what is our inner posture when we enter the room of Shri Mataji, or when even those who have the privilege to go in the bedroom of Shri Mataji, how you are, with such humility, such complete devotion, complete attention. You really want to be completely there, absorbing all the vibrations, and be in complete union for this moment, to feel the intensity of the presence of Shri Mataji. But are we in the same posture when we just click on Nirmala Vidya to watch a video? I don't think we are all the time in the same posture, but we don't realize it's the same. To face Shri Mataji on Nirmala Vidya or in Amruta, or whenever we see, we should have the same posture, the same respect, the same devotion, the same attention. And it's true, because it is easy to access, because it is, which, as you say, you select a name, tac, I click on that, thank you, and you watch, you do namaskar. But the posture is not maybe the same. But we should come to the point, maybe. I was telling that myself. Am I all the time in that posture when I watch a video of Shri Mataji? Do I have the same respect than when I enter the room of Shri Mataji in Kabela or in Pratishthan or in Nirmala? Do I have the same posture? And I should. And then we really absorb the vibration. I don't know if some of you went also in the library when you start to see this book and you open the book. You do it with such respect. It's sacred. You open delicately, and then you feel all the flow of vibration coming on you. It's just pouring like that. From the book. So it can happen the same with the videos and all, if we have the right postures, and that's important to keep in mind. I think also, how sacred it is.
Totally agree, Eric. I mean, the reverence we show, probably, it's just like clicking on another Instagram account. We're so used to our phones clicking on things, that the respect is gone, But it really struck me when I read that more Mother said about a photo, although it's a reproduction, a photo is a reproduction, my attention is there. So when you're watching her video, she is there, her attention is there, and where is our respect?
Wow.
It is you need to sort of ground yourself and pinch yourself and give her that respect, because she has given us so much. I totally agree, Eric.
Can I open a little parenthesis on this? I don't know how you guys feel about it, and I don't want to sound cynic, but I also think, as organizing countries pujas, or even when you go to seminars, sometimes we tend to put Shimaji's picture on things or items that we might not necessarily should, or we don't need to, let's say. For example, I remember once I got gifted this shirt with Shimaji's picture on it. It was so difficult, because now I'm like, how do I wash it? It just, everything became so complicated.
I mean, it's not a decorative object.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
like recently, I think we had something on the like a stickers on the bag and things like that. You cannot. I mean, it's again not understanding what you're dealing with. It's the image of the Adi Shakti. So no on t-shirt, no on cap, no on the pen. I will say no on the
Exactly. And
stickers and things
it's
like
a
that.
pity because it's done from the heart. You can really see that the person, but I feel we just need to think a bit more of
Yeah,
what
the
you
use,
will do
how you
with
will
that
use.
with item. Exactly.
When you put a stickers on your car with a photo of Shri Mataji, and then you go and wash the car, it get dirty because you are
Exactly.
driving, it get
Exactly.
dark, and you clean it with these things,
Mm.
how you will have the proper
Exactly.
posture washing your car, and there is a sticker of Shri Mataji on the window.
Exactly.
So we have to think about all this. How again it comes to the point how to use the image of Shri Mataji and for what purpose, and and to understand what it is, who it is, and which posture we have to have towards that.
Yeah, and what is a little bit weird to me is that maybe for the future generation, it will become an association thing, you know, because my kids will never see Shimadaji in person. So they
Yeah,
will associate her picture to the hangar, to the place where you celebrate the puja, to the meditation room, and not to the sticker on the
mhm.
backpack. There is also like because we are used to see her in holy places, so that's
Yeah,
holy to me.
yeah,
And if you see it like everywhere, it loses its value,
Yeah.
of course.
exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We're
It
just in the process of drafting a protocol, actually,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
of Mother's photograph, and I'm just waiting for Ezio to come back to me, because it's exactly as you say. We've seen, I mean, we've seen pictures of mothers on a mug, on, as you
yeah,
said, key rings. She's not fridge magnets and
Yeah. Yeah.
T-shirts. She's not a commercial item. So
Yeah.
again, it's an education. So yeah, we're trying to draft some procedures not procedures, but suggestions to the collective. How because mother's photograph, private photographs are put out in public. This morning I got a photograph where mother wasn't looking at her best. Why is it on the internet?
Yeah.
It's all that sort of things. And her Mahasamadhi videos are on the internet. It's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking to Exio and Sandeep and people like that, to see how we can devise something to suggest to the collective that this is not really appropriate. And Ezio, it's quite a tricky subject as well. Where do you stop? With
Yeah.
enhanced mother's photograph for if you're doing an advert. So he's getting the graphic designers and the photographers to talk about this, and we're just going to try and issue a protocol. And well, just a suggestion, to please not to do this sort of thing, and hopefully people, yogis, will understand, and it all gets back to her talk about the photograph, and the 5 elements that are already in there, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's another very important point, But yeah, all this sort of thing keeps coming up as we go along, and you think, oh, we've got there, but
And again, I feel is really not. You repeatedly said, both of you. It's really education, and it's not like the yogis would understand if they're explained.
yeah,
So, and it's not just NIPC, but the local coordinators. I think everybody
yeah.
has a role in
yeah,
establishing that culture of depth.
yeah.
That's what we need to do. I
Yeah.
think that's what is important.
I think
And
it's
and
so
I and have the humility to accept that there are people who wear, like you said before, there are people who wear with Shri Mataji who got direct
Yeah.
recommendation and direct incentive, from Shri Mataji, how to proceed to spread SAHAJ and all these things. And I know it's not easy always, but to have the humility to listen to those who were there. And if somebody tells you, look, this is not the way to do, not to feel hurt. I know in Indian culture, the people accept when you tell more easily when you tell, don't do that, it's not correct. They will say, uncle, I'm sorry, I did a mistake. But in Western country, we have a little bit more ego.
Not
And
so
if you
much.
tell and if we tell a yoga or somebody, we say, I am my own guru. I had so many discussions like that with people. I try to tell on Instagram, look, you are publishing beautiful photo of Shri Mataji, but it's not should not be public because it's the crown and everything. So don't publish. And the guy told me just like that, I am my own guru. I do what
I
I
am my
want. So
own
there's a
false guru.
so that I replied to him, don't be your own false guru. But you see the kind of reaction when you tell somebody something, you react straight away and take it like an attack. And it's just a loving message that we want to send, that let's use it properly.
There is a sweet story that should not be exaggerated, but when I was especially younger, like to remind myself of that. I read the Bible, the Old Testament, and at some point, some people start complaining about Shri Moses, and basically they keep complaining until God calls them forward, and they say, "Why are you talking ill about Moses?" And the person continues complaining, and God says, "Do you realize that he's the only person that I allow to speak to me as I really am? Like nobody else is allowed to see me, right? There must be something reason why I allow this." And then the very moment the earth cracked and these two people were, punished down. Now, not to exaggerate the story, because Shri Moses is an incarnation, and that's not what I'm referring to, the uncles and aunties, but these uncles and aunties that have been with Shimaji for a long time, there must be a reason for why they were there. And there must be some special knowledge that's been passed down, right? So again, we don't need to exaggerate it, but there is a solid foundation there.
And it's not that they are all perfect, because they are all, we know all is gold. I know, I understand. But it's not that they are better than the others.
Exactly.
It's just that they have some experience that most of the yogis don't have. And let's just absorb. And that's all, if somebody is telling you or sharing a story, and hopefully we record or they write their stories, because slowly also all these yogis who were there start to get very old. So it's something that has to be really done now, also to spread these stories, actually.
Absolutely.
To record it also.
I have one very last question on my side. It's a bit of a story that actually you shared with me in the past, Uncle Alan, but I think it'll be nice for the young people also to hear this, which is everything we discussed tonight about Nirmal Vidya really is about the beautiful, the subtle, the auspicious, but also the nitty-gritty, and doing your work properly, meticulously, efficiently, because it's important, right? And then, as Uncle Larry said, in the end, you surrendered also Shimaji, and her plan is already envisioned, and she does it all. But still, we have to do our part well, right? So you told me once a very nice story, Uncle Alan, when you were in a castle and you were working very hard on something. I think Shimaji played a little bit with you. I thought that would be nice to share that. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, no, I think I told you the story in the castle, but basically what happened is that every year Shimaji would come to the Albert Hall, and there'd always be so many tasks to fulfill. And I had this amazing spreadsheet, with thousands of tasks allocated to so many different people, from from advertising to renting the hall to negotiating, etc., who would do what, and even to lighting the candle when Mother arrived prior to the Albert Hall. And it was amazing, and I had all this, and it was a big thick wad of documents, of spreadsheets. And just as we got into Ealing House, Mother was there, and the documents fell out of my hand, all in front of Shimaji, and I was so embarrassed, and I picked it all up together. And she said, "Can I have a look at it?" So I was really embarrassed. I gave it to Shri Mataji, and she looked through virtually every page. She was so interested in looking at everything. Then she handed it back to me, all the documents, and then she looked at me and she said, "Shri Ganesha does it all." And that told me everything, So I just try to keep myself occupied, and I worry about things. At the end of the day, I know she does it all, and Shri Ganesha removes all the obstacles. So I don't need to worry, and who needs spreadsheets anyway?
Yeah. We cannot handle this like I was asked to work in this because my profession is project management, but I definitely tell you, it doesn't bring anything when you start to manage a SAHAJ project, because it doesn't work. If you want to apply professional project management things to SAHAJ projects, it doesn't work. And that's the fun part of it, and the learning part of it, I think, is that like exactly when Shri Mataji built Kabela, you one day build, you break a wall, and the day after you have to rebuild, and the day after you have to redestroy it, and the day after you rebuild it, and then you change the color, and again you change the color, because it's another level. We are here not to do, it's not the main work which is important, but how we surrender.
Yeah.
What the divine wants you to do, which is important, and is really definitely what I learned through these years with Nirmala Vidya, is at the end of the day, you can plan all what you want, but only the things that the divine wants to work will work. And the rest, whatever you can do, it will not work. So it's this mixture, to surrender, but be the actor, to do the thing.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
each time, Mataji, it's your will, it's all yours, it's all your things. I'm not doing anything. And you see, you try, it works, then it goes in the flows, and it's happening, and you just witness it, and you just enjoy, because Mataji arrange everything. And sometimes you're not so much balanced, maybe, and it doesn't work as you plan, and you start to have difficulties, and you feel it's because you wanted, you with your ego, your idea, that it's happening now for that reason, because you have this and that in mind, and it doesn't work. And suddenly you let it go, and things happen in another way, and it works out, So it's we are here to learn how to surrender. That's the main thing, and that's
it's absolutely right. I mean, I'm an accountant, so I want to control everything with spreadsheets and budgeting, all that sort of thing. And but you have no control. I've had no control over my life since I came to SAHAJ. I know where I wanted to be. I know where I wanted to go. But I ended up doing jobs that I never, ever expected to. I ended up in Russia. I ended up in Brazil in a gold mine and had no training for any of that. I ended up doing all sorts of amazing things, but all by the grace of Shri Mataji, she I just hope that she guides us, and gives us the wisdom, so that all of us, the yogis and all of us, can just have the courage and the humility to do her work and to act as her channels. But my God, what a life I've had with her. And it's been absolutely incredible. And I really thank you, Mother. Thank you for everything that you've given me. Thank you.
Awesome. I think this is
I think there was no better way to come back with a new episode after 2 months. I think we can close the episode now. So thank you really much, Uncle Alan. Thank you really much, Eric. Thank you, Fabrizio. You're always there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is SAHAJ Times Podcast. Bye.
Bye-bye.